Roughly 15 years ago, when I started out in the writing industry, I experienced something that have shaped my life over years, and I would say it has affected me both positively and negatively. But I choose to talk about about the positive ways it has affected me over the years. When I started writing, I was just in junior secondary school, three, what we call JSS3 here in Nigeria. I started writing quite early, much more than that. I don't know, I had that flair and that love for writing. I read literally all the books I could see in primary school. I read my first set of books in primary school. That was how early I started. But why I set out to publish 15 years back, around 2011, 2012, plus or minus 13 years back, I I didn't know the way, right? I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know what to do. I just was a bit exposed to the environment of people who write, publish, and launch their book. And we always anticipate book launching in our church every now and then. My pastor was writing, he does his launching often, my pastor's wife, and some other people. I was like, oh, this thing I had been doing all this while could actually come to manifestation, right? And one of the things that inspired me at a young age to step out to get that book published was that I saw a video documentary of a 10-year-old girl who was launching her book, and it was televised. It was televised in such a way that its documentary kept coming up and up on the TV, on NTA. Then I said, oh, if this girl could do it, it's time to step up. I wrote a fresh book that I titled Sin is Unprofitable. And that book, I didn't know the way, quite all right. I didn't know the way to go about it. I said to myself, let me get to my pastor, for my pastor to edit it. Quite understandable. My pastor was very busy, and then he recommended someone. So that person turned out to be very busy. All right. I didn't have the knowledge and the information I had today. Even if I had the knowledge and the information I had today, there was still another constraint. That was the money aspect of it. That was the financial aspect of it. All right. So I didn't have the three: the knowledge, the money, and the exposure, right? I didn't have any of those. So I had to resort to using people who I knew were intellectually sound and religiously sound, because it was a religious book, to edit the book. When my pastor was busy and the other woman was also busy or proved to be busy, I said to myself, it's time to go all out and get this book done. We went into production. How did I get the money to do this? We were looking for 35,000 naira. 35,000 naira to do 1,000 copies of this book as at then. That was 2011. I think it was 2010, between 2010 and 2012, because I know my second book was released in 2012. So it was between 2010 and 2011. We were looking for the 5,000 naira to do that. And I have a twin brother, Solomon. I'm likely going to put his picture here so you see him, or our pictures. So you see us, and when you see one, you just ask, are you Solomon or Gideon? That's a bit of digression, right? What we had in our savings then was 5,000, plus or minus 5,000. We are big boys, so we are saving 20 there every day. We had plus or minus 5,000. As against 35,000 that was needed. I went to a man in our church who I revered, who I honor. Up to today, I so much respect that man. I went to him and said, oh, sir, this is what I have. This is the vision I have. This is what the cost is. And he said, I don't know who your father is. Can you call your father? My father went to see him the next Sunday, and he gave us 10,000 naira. Imagine, he doubled what we had, but it was not still enough for what we needed. We had 15 out of 30, and we had to also negotiate with the printer to get us this book done as we begin to pay gradually, gradually, gradually. And he agreed. So we were paying gradually. My mom borrowed money, my dad brought money, and we also had to input so much money. And then our printer graciously agreed that we'll pay off, I think, around 7 or 10,000 naira after we must have done our book launch. But if I had to draw lessons from what I have said, the story I've told so far, there will be plenty lessons. Number one is that it is impossible until you see someone that have done it, right? It is impossible until you've seen someone that have done it. That thing you think is impossible, go all out and start searching for someone that has done it or someone that has done something close to it. The second lesson is ask for help. You cannot do everything that you wanted to do or you wanted to achieve all by yourself. Ask for help. Always ask for help. Say, please help me. I have this, I want to do this, I want to do this. Help me. A cry of help is not a cry of weakness. It's wisdom to ask for help. I had to step out to go and ask that man to help us, and he helped us. Number three is that people will not do everything you ask from them. People have their own problems. So don't go and say, oh, I asked him for 35K and he gave me 10K. That's amazing startup. You don't expect the government to do everything you ask from them. You don't expect your parents to do everything you require from them. You don't expect people to do everything that you ask of them. They have other things they are looking out for. They have their own personal goals. They have their own personal lives. They have every other thing that is important to them. As little as someone could give you, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Even if it is their time that they're able to give you, appreciate it. It is worthless. Be so grateful that in years to come, you are still remembering what these people have done for you. Don't be an ingrate. Number four is when you collect money from somebody or you make a promise to deliver something, someone gives you a job to handle, do ensure that it's delivered. Ensure that it is delivered excellently. All right? Because we have collected 10,000 naira from someone, we must do it. 10,000 naira out of 35,000 naira, there's still a big margin. I was intentional about my name and the name of my family that we have to do this. This money, it must be done. Or else we'll return the money, but we cannot return the money. So it has to be done. When you get money for something or you make a promise, ensure that you deliver. Number five is that there's always negotiation on the table. You can always negotiate things. Everything is negotiable, right? Don't say, they told me 100 million. I'm not doing it again. I have only 20. They told me 100,000. I have only 20. You can always negotiate. Even if you are paying that 100,000, it could be splitted. Even if you are paying that 100,000, it could be done in a way that you do it without it being so much of a burden to you. The truth is that some things highly priced in the market, you can buy it at 20% of, or even less than 20% of the value. So if somebody says, I'm selling this for 10 million, if you negotiate, you can get it for 1 million, shockingly. So don't take the price you see at the public value you see as the final value. You can always negotiate. And say, okay, this is what I can pay. This is how I can pay it. All right. I am going to see you right in my next video. All right. Let us share the grace, guys. My name is Chiedozie Okeke.